Good morning, you with Jade here, 91.1 Hot FM, Hot Property. We're talking all things real estate and property. In here this morning, Mel Cayley from Optawise has been joining me as well, and Paul from Broker Co as well. Good morning.
Hey, Jade. Hey, Mel.
Now, we've just been talking about, well, Mel was actually talking about it earlier, but we want to dive into equity, Paul, and this is where you come in because it is that time of year where everyone is starting to assess, I guess, getting their tax done, starting to get their head around where they might be standing from a financial point at the end of the financial year. Bit of opportunity in that because, Mel, you always say there's opportunity. People can do more than what they really think they can.
Yeah, in 100% of the cases, when we sit with clients, they can do more than what they thought they could do. So, and a key part of that is to, A, understanding tax and tax benefits, B, making sure that they're financially ready. So this is where Paul and the team come in.
Paul, so talk to me about equity. Do you have a lot of people not fully understanding how it works, like a lot of clients that you deal with?
Oh, not everyone understands equity, but it's just really quite simple. If you just have a conversation with your banker or your broker, just to access a bit of market intelligence, find out what your property value is at the moment, and pretty much anyone on the Sunshine Coast that has bought in the last 2 to 3 years will definitely have some equity captured in there.
Well, that's the thing. We've had a market move so much in the last, even anywhere up to 5 years. I mean, people who bought 5 years ago would be sitting on some fantastic equity in their home. Now, there's two thoughts to this. One is, yep, I've got equity. That's because I'm paying my loan down. But let's just say opportunity-wise, when people are wanting to sort of refinance, Paul, things like that, do some people talk to me about tapping into the equity? How can you use it?
You can use it for multiple purposes, investment properties, home improvements, cars, furniture, holidays, whatever it is that you want, as long as it's within the parameters of the bank's lending policies, that's fine. And that's what we're here to help with, to make sure that gets through in the way that it needs to release that equity. But then once that's released, then you've got full control over that capital.
To do what you want.
To do what you want. And while it's sitting there, you can even offset that against the loan, so you're not actually paying for it unless you use it.
Now, Mel, I know what you're going to say.
Oh,
you heard him say holidays and cars and buying all these other things.
If you're going to go into debt and use it for anything, you make sure it's good debt. Make sure it's an asset.
Appreciating asset.
Yeah, an appreciating asset. Make sure it's spinning off extra cash flow or capital growth. That's what you should be doing with it.
Holidays,
technically there's things you can, but just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Oh, well, that's good advice. But lots of people are sitting on equity, don't know what to do with it. And just, I guess that's the point where they need to come and chat to, obviously, Mel, but also you, Paul, because you're the one that crunches the numbers, looks at where they're sitting, how much they owe the bank, what their property is worth potentially, because that gives you an indication of obviously what equity you have, and how much you can do with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with Mal with what he said about investing that equity in a growth asset is obviously far better use of those funds than going on a holiday.
Well, that's right, because if you look at the scenario, Paul, and they do use their equity, buy an investment property, then they could be sitting down with you in another 5 years with even more equity, right? Across the board.
And able to do it again.
And able to do it. Yeah, there we go.
Or even better holidays.
Or even better holidays.
It's all for a purpose. It's just about when.
Yeah.
It is. But it is important to have a chat because the landscape has changed so much with rising interest rates that 2 years ago, you could have borrowed $1 million, today it's probably dropped to around 600,000.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's just a matter of doing those numbers, make sure that you can service whatever that future scenario of debt will be, good debt, and then make the next move after that.
Just do the number crunching. That's not my department. That is absolutely yours, Paul. If anyone needs any number crunching done to see what kind of equity they're in, or refinancing too. I think this time of year, a lot of people looking to refinance and get a budget in place for next financial year. Hit up Broker Co and Paul and the crew. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks, Jade. Thanks, Mel.